Apologies about that. I got cut off. This 15-minute parameter on the recordings kills me, and I'm too cheap to buy the full version, so you'll have to pardon me on that. I was just talking about annotated bibliographies and how it's recommended that you create a bibliography for each one of your sources. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to want to see everyone's research journal and research packet. I'm not sure yet. I likely will, but I'm going to leave it up to you as to how you put that together. I just want to probably see your research notebook or your research journal to see where you are in the process and how it's going. More information on that as I figure out how I want to receive that. And then finally, I also have a rhetorical appeals, ethos, pathos, logos, cheat sheet, and checklist. Not only do you have to evaluate your sources by the CRAP method listed above, you also have to make sure that they have an appropriate balance of ethos, pathos, and logos. And this particular sheet here gives you just an at a glance what each of them mean, what types of appeals you usually see. So it breaks it down by what's the overall ethos. It's based on character and ethics, logo, logic and reasoning, pathos, emotion, and emotional qualities. Gives you a definition of how that is or how it works. So for ethos, how a party or author builds his or her credibility and trustworthiness. Logos, the claim itself, the argument, how reasonable it is, the reasoning that's being used, and the logical evidence to provide support for any claims being made. Pathos, words or passages used to activate the emotions. And so it's going to give you examples of those. And it also, I like this particular sheet, it tells you how this has an impact on the audience. It gives you a column, separates them, all three of them, but it tells you ultimately how it has an impact and why it's important in your writing. Then there is a sheet here on the second page, actually. I wonder if I can rotate it back. Let's see here. That gives you a way to check some of these examples off in your own sources. So, you can have this printed out in your notebook as you're going through your sources and as you're researching. You can check each of these, and this can be a check sheet for the ethos, pathos, and logos evaluation of your sources. And then you can have the CRAP, I hate saying that. Then you have the CRAP score calculator and the CRAP worksheet that's in the research section, and you combine all three of these. And if your source is positive in light of these evaluations, then of course you can use it and integrate it into your work. Again, I recommend you printing and using each copy of these worksheets for each source that you're going to use. It sounds like a lot of work, but it is a surefire way, a veritable way to understand that your source is going to be credible and academic enough. So that would be, for instance, using the CRAP score calculator, the CRAP worksheet, creating an annotated bibliography, and also the appeals cheat sheet. So that would be all four of these for your sources. That is my recommendation to make sure you're pulling sources that are credible and effective to your work. Those are the resources that I have here now. There should also be a link to Al Purdue APA. I need to put that in there. This is going to be your resource for APA, how to cite things in APA, how to cite your reference citations. I'm going to put together a video in itself that covers some of this content and some content that actually will help you actually write the paper. Right now, you should be focused on the first half, which is the preparation process. But at any rate, this is going to be a style guide to help you with the APA information. And so it has over here in the left navigation pane all sorts of sections. So how to make attributions and in-text citations, and how do you do it for, how do you manage your quotations, how do you include your quotations. So it's got some examples there for how to put your summary paraphrasing, but then you also have how to handle the in-text citation, a work by one author, how to do it a work by two authors, and a work by three or more, and it gives you examples so that you can use them. There's also a list for your reference list. Based on the type of sources you use, they will be cited differently. So articles and periodicals here's books, print sources, electronic, audiovisual, other non-print. Here are some legal references. So For instance, when we look at the sources you're going to use for this paper, they're going to be by and large academic, scholarly, peer-reviewed journals, right? So it's going to be listed under periodicals. In the lecture video, I tell you that academic journals are periodicals. They're regularly published, usually 4 times a year, and so you need to go to periodicals, and this is how you would cite the electronic journal in your references section of your paper. It gives you an example, but it also gives you general format that you can use and just input the right information. And so this is what the citation for that type of journal would look like in your references section. You'll notice they're also very particular. The way you capitalize things are particular. What you put and in what order is very particular. It looks very complex at first glance, but the reality is you're going to use this resource and also the writer's reference book to learn how to cite these correctly. When you submit your final research paper, you will have already researched how to do this, and you will have your resources put in that references page in the correct way. Again, just like your overall document formatting, if you miss one aspect of this, so for instance, if you have everything else in your source just like this, but you forget the issue number or the page number, that citation is not correct. If you capitalize the titles the wrong way and you capitalize every single word, that's not correct. If you don't italicize the name of the journal, it's not correct. And so again, I'm reinforcing that it's impossible to memorize these writing style guidelines and how to cite something. So this is the resource or one of them to help you find how to put your sources in the right format, both reference citation and in-text citation. So this is going to be a great resource for you. I'm going to include that in the research resources. And I might add some more of these as we go along, but I think this is a great starting point for you to start compiling your own research journal or research notebook. I will let you know when I would like to see that and how I would like to see it, but it's going to require you to use these, actively use these resources. So be sure to print them. Some of them you have to, some of them are not fillable online. Make sure you have them with you. It's only going to help you, and I'm going to want to see it anyway. So that's really all I have right now with regards to those resources. Another one that I have to point out, and this is crucial for your grade, we're not going to forget about academic tone. We're not going to forget that personal words have no place. Personal pronouns and conversational words have absolutely no place in this type of work. So another resource is going to be the English 110 prohibited items list. I'm going to add this to the research resources. Anything that's listed on this document you cannot use. You, in fact, by assignment instructions, will be docked 7 points for each instance that some of these words are used. So far, what we have here is conversational words like frankly, at any rate, at the end of the day, as a matter of fact, kind of, sort of, obviously. Any of those you cannot use. Other spoken conversational words that you would use with a peer, such as stupid, whack, dumb, you cannot use. No waste words, so no words like just, any version of get, got, gotten, getting, any variant of got, any you, really, believe, a lot, stuff, literally, virtually, etc. These are all words that have no impact. It wastes space and it makes your writing sound more conversational. All of the things that we want to avoid for your own credibility and research. Absolutely no personal words or pronouns. You cannot use me, my, you, I, us, we, our, your, my, mine, his, her. I mean, you can use his or her, but you can't use those that's listed on this document, including mine. Again, the idea is to be objective and pull yourself out of the research, and you're going to write in third person. That is the basis of research writing, is in third person without any of those pronouns available. Strive to use more impactful words, so more academic words. You can use a thesaurus to help you do that. Also, you have to make sure that the document is in entirely correct APA formatting with all the necessary elements, and that also includes your in-text citations and your reference citations, because those are, in fact, part of the style guide. Of course, no profanities or illicit, demeaning, offensive content. All thoughts must be written in complete sentences. This is going to be a challenge because some of you write in incomplete sentences. For each incomplete sentence, you will lose 7 points. So it is an absolute must that you write in complete sentences with a subject, a predicate, and most of the time an object. It's also going to task you with making sure you're using your punctuation correctly and that you don't have run-on sentences or 2-3 sentences fused together because of not understanding how a comma works. Contractions are absolutely prohibited. We do not use contractions in academic writing. And then the general idea is that most of your sentences should use a stronger, more advanced sentence structure. And so I've provided some information on that throughout the class. And so this is the list. I might tweak it a little bit, but it's important that you have it because you can write an outstanding research paper with outstanding sources, citations, and reference citations. But if you don't deliver in the written translation of that material using some of these things, you can still fail this paper. That's it. I hope everyone has a good night. I hope everyone starts using these resources and compiling their research journal. And again, make sure you go and look at that Baylor University research schedule generator, put the due date in, and abide by and follow closely that research plan. It will make sure that you have everything together, and it also tells you how much time you need to really dedicate to each of these steps. And it's going to help you out. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm glad to help. Take care.